Hello and welcome to the Money Movement. Today we're going to be talking about what is a bond. So a bond is different to a share, it's different to an equity, and what a bond is it's when you lend money to a company. So when you invest your money, you have two choices. You either buy a share in a company and you have an ownership stake in that company and you hope that it grows in value in the future when you can withdraw your money for more than you put in. A bond is slightly different. A bond is when companies want to have money to grow and innovate and buy stuff and invest in their own company, but they don't want to give away a share of their company because they want to keep it for themselves. They want to stay owned by the people who set it up usually. So what a bond is it's a way of them getting the money to grow and innovate, but not having to give away a share of their company. So what you become is effectively like a bank, we would know it as. So you take your money and you say, I will lend you a certain amount of money over a certain period of time, subject to terms of interest. So then they say, fine, thank you, we'll take your money and we'll promise to repay it in 6 years' time or 10 years' time. And in between now and then, we're also going to pay you regular interest payments just to make sure that you're still earning money from your money that you've invested with us via a bond. So the things you need to consider when you do a bond is that you'll see something called a coupon. This is the interest rate, so it's called the annual coupon, and it's usually expressed as a pound, so the amount of pounds per bond, but most people convert it into a percentage to make it much easier to understand for everyone like us. So what you'll see is, for example, Tesco might say, we're issuing a 10-year bond. So you can give your money to us for 10 years, you won't have access to it for 10 years, but we will give you an interest rate of 6% a year. So you give them your £100, they pay you 6% a year for the next 10 years, and then they give you back your £100. You've helped them grow, they haven't had to give away a part of their business, and they've paid you for leaving your money with them. Now I say you can't get your money out, and that's because obviously when you buy the bond, you are buying it for that 10-year or that 15-year or 5-year period, but you can get your money back because bonds, just like shares, they are traded on the stock exchange. So for example, the share price goes up and down every day, so do bond prices. So depending on how likely the company is to pay back that final payment, you can swap that bond with people on the stock exchange. So for example, you might lend £100 and at a 6% interest rate. And then if the market thinks that actually there's a chance that might go bust, that bond is worth less because you might not get that final payment. So the market will say, actually, I am going to reduce the price of this bond to show that it's not as valuable. So you could sell at that point, but you get less than you invested. By the same token, if the company becomes more strong or interest rates rise, then that sort of thing can impact the price of the bond and you might get more than you paid for it back. So there's sort of two people. There's people who buy bonds to try and make money on the price of the bond moving up and down because that's how people make money, buying for less and selling for more. Or people just want an income stream. So they buy the bond and leave it there in the knowledge they're going to get that income throughout the time. So what impacts the amount of money they're going to pay as an interest rate or the coupon of the bond? Well, it's based on three main factors. The first one being how creditworthy the company who you're lending the money to is. Just like we all have those friends, right? Friends who will pay you back no problem, friends who are a bit of a pain to get the money out of, and the lost cause is the ones you give your money to, you're never going to get repaid. So the market assesses that risk of Tesco, New Look, ASOS, Asda, all these companies, and they work out if they're good for the money, if there's a good chance they'll repay, or if they're on the ropes, if they're a bit dodgy. So for example, airlines over coronavirus have come really close to going bust. Their bonds, therefore, people don't want to lend the money because they don't know they're going to get it back. And therefore they have to offer a really high interest rate to try and attract people to buy their bonds because people want that interest to compensate them for the risk. The second factor is how long they're having the money for. So if I was to lend you money for 5 minutes, you can't really do much with it in 5 minutes that means I'm not going to get it back. If I lent it to you for 10 years though, there's a good chance you might not repay it. The same with a company. We know what the company's going to be doing next week, but we don't know what it's going to be doing next decade. So the longer period you're lending the money, the higher the interest rate. And the third one is the interest rates in the economy. So the Bank of England decide if interest rates should be high or low, depending on things like employment, inflation, how the economy is performing. So if there's low interest rates everywhere, they can get away with paying a low interest rate. If interest rates are higher across the economy, they have to pay a higher interest rate. So there you have it, bonds in a nutshell. It is when you lend money to a company in exchange for them paying it back after a certain period of time, and in between you lending it and then paying it back, you get nice, regular payments of interest or the coupon. And depending on how big that coupon is, in percentage terms, is based on the interest rates in the economy, how creditworthy or likely they are to repay your debt, and also how long they're going to have your money for. So there we go, you've done shares, go and check out our video on that. And this is bonds, another way to invest your money. And if you have any questions about bonds, why they exist, how they work, anything we haven't covered in this video, do let us know and we'll be very, very happy to get it covered. But until next time, you take care. So we're going to help you kick off your investing journey the way that we did ourselves way before the money movement started. And that's through an app called Tickr. It's where we invest our personal money and we think you should too. So if you want to find out why, it's a massive playlist up here full of content as to why you should invest via Tickr, how it works and why we think it's the best way to start investing. And if you sign up using our referral code, which is Money Movement, then you'll get £5 added to your account and a tree planted to help you save the world while you're investing your money. Who's that then, mate?
Hello and welcome to the Money Movement. Today we're going to talk about Adam's awful presenting skills.
Yeah, sorry mate, we seem to be out of battery mate. We'll just stop and just change the battery. Oh yeah, sorry mate, we seem to be out of memory. Let me just change the memory card. Oh sorry mate, light's gone off. Let me just get that lighting sorted. Oh sorry mate, left the door open. Let's just restart. Are you right to go for the 4th time on this video, mate?
You need to be a bit more grateful, mate, if you ask me. We're all trying our hardest.